Banana Slam Jam.
Okay, so this is my patch review for 7.26. Should be sweet and short, but just like the patch. However, I believe that this patch is pretty massive, despite being only 3 sentences. So, in 7.26, the general changes is that the release is focused on the following systemic changes. Once these changes settle a bit, there will be follow-up hero and item-specific adjustments. So what they changed is that attributes no longer provide magic resistance, spell amplification, and movement speed for strength, intelligence, and agility, respectively. Pretty much like every other game in the world, as time goes on, Dota has had power creep, and I believe this is one of the most significant versions of it. I believe it changed a lot of things. It kind of made things arbitrary rather than strict numbers. What I mean is, it's like if Quap's Scream is supposed to do 300 damage, at what point does it stop killing range creeps? Because range creeps gain 5 health like every 7 minutes, I believe. So it's like, normally at 7 minutes, Quap's Scream stopped giving her one-shotting on creeps. That was like in the old days. But then now, that line wasn't exactly clear. And I believe that like this whole idea of giving heroes these free stuff that they already had. What I mean is you already have stats. They didn't add anything to your stats. No heroes got extra stats. They just made it so your stats gave you more. So when you buy stats, when you get items, that accelerates the game. Your hero with stat growths naturally gets more as they level up. So these types of things just made heroes more powerful. It makes them farm faster in regards to like jungle creeps. Like if you look at everything on the map, heroes will be weaker in respect to all of it. That's how I basically look at it. It's going to take you a bit more time to farm jungle camps. Creep waves are going to be stronger for a longer period of time. Your nukes are going to start not killing range creeps at an earlier time in the game. All these things are going to add up such that the game is going to be slower paced and things are going to be much more black and white rather than kind of just being arbitrary values that go up kind of just gradually as you level up and you gain stats. Items will be less impactful when you buy them. Heroes with less stat gains will technically be better. So like more like heroes like Slark who get stats from their abilities or their abilities are meant to be what carry them rather than their stat growth will benefit, while naturally heroes like Terrorblade that have high stat gains or Pugna with high stat gains will naturally be hurt by this. So it makes sense that they said this release is focused on the following systemic changes, and once the changes settle a bit, they will follow up with hero and item specific adjustments. So basically, stat items became worse. In the short term, I believe this is going to throw the game pretty out of whack. Things that just were a part of items are now not there. It's like when you bought a sheep stick, it probably gave you 2 or 3% spell amp. I'm kind of just throwing out a number, but now that's gone. The fine-tuned balance of Dota is going to be out of whack for a bit. So I think it's hard to tell exactly what impact it's going to have, but I think it's important that they kind of told us like there's going to be more changes, but for now we're going to leave it as is till we can see the impacts on the overall meta as well as heroes. So they also said that gold bounties are reduced by 10%. So we talked about the game being slower because of stat gains. Now it's going to be even slower because when you get buildings, when you get lane creeps, every form of getting gold, basically, is reduced by 10%. So it's going to, what would normally take 9 minutes is now going to take 10 minutes. Pretty straightforward, right? So the game, by the 10-minute mark, is already slowed down over a minute. That just tells you in terms of item timings. I guess you have to include passive gold, but in terms of like gold you accrue from getting stuff, it's all delayed by 10%, and that's or 11% technically. So yeah, it is a pretty significant change in that regard, but it affects everyone equally. The point is that the game is slower paced, and I think that's okay. I think the game's kind of accelerated a bit too fast, and I think there's a lot of benefits to what they're doing, and I'm really curious to see how this plays out. They also made it that kill streak gold is reduced by 50%. Kill streaks were just kind of ridiculous, I think. They nerfed them again. The previous patch, 7.25C, I believe. And now they're just making it so kill streaks matter. But it looks like the game's much more about like slowing down and making it so that there's not sudden bursts in net worth change. No matter what, if you're far behind, the comeback gold isn't really there anymore. The XP is still there, but the kill streak gold is already reduced. You don't get gold based on net worth anymore. I have to believe in the short term this is going to be kind of, I don't want to say boring, but like, if a team's ahead by 10k, I feel like they'll stay ahead by 10k. The only exception is the fact that there's items like Rapier that are purchasable now to drastically shift the balance of the game. So that's really, it's all I can see so far, and I'm really curious to see what plays out with this. But I'm expecting heroes with high stat gains and items that give stats to be worse, and heroes that benefit from items without stat gains, such as Templar Assassin, who just goes like Blink Desolator, BKB, Daedalus, will be better because they don't rely on any of this stuff. So, hope you guys enjoyed this quick patch review, and I'll keep you guys posted when there's sub patches to follow up these changes.